If you guys can hear anything, we should be coming on line up. There it is. Oh, it comes up on cool. Well, that's showing. Sweet. Well, then let's just put that back over there. Let's go to a live screen. Joe, what up, everybody? Okay, so we said we'd be back. We're back. Let's see. I need something to drink. So, welcome. We're going to be talking about Battle Pirates, Kixeye. Gotta stay hydrated. Whoops. So we have a loading screen that comes up. You can kind of see it over here. Let's see what happens if I hit play. Does it show it? What if I move it? Can I move this? No. No. Well, you can barely see the loading thing there, but this is an issue we've seen many times. I've been playing this game right about from day one, 2010, around there somewhere. It was still in the beta. I thought it wasn't, but after seeing pictures that I've taken, on the top of the screen it says beta, so I guess that means I was in the beta stage of it. And this issue is that the game loads. So I like the fact how Kixeye always complains that it's the user or the player. And when I talk about this, I'm not just talking about today or yesterday. I'm talking about anywhere from 2010 or maybe even 2009, but 2010 till now, that there's a loading issue. And let me jump till today. 2 weeks ago, for about two and a half weeks, Kixeye kept on sending messages, hey, get the patch, especially if you use Google Chrome. And, I ignored it because I already got the patch. But I was like, no, let me go and double check. I should have taken a screenshot, but I went on to it, and it said it's a patch from 2016. I already have it because it already says enabled or, yeah. It's okay, I already have it. I can't redo it, so I didn't necessarily worry about it. And now I'm going to go back in time to the beginning where they would do some kind of update and they knew it wasn't going to work. They also have, and I think it's great that they, try to let volunteers and people that enjoy the game play and try to help, but these should not be the people to rely on all matters. A lot of times you need someone from the company to actually get off their ass and do something and not have a player go, oh, we'll try this, and then, the one tech that I can't believe this was through chat, but they asked me like if my PC was plugged in, and I'm like, well, I wouldn't be able to chat with you if it wasn't. And don't be like, it's battery. No battery. It was a tower. So this loading issue has been going on for a super long time. And my argument has always been that this is the only game I've had an issue with. Farmtown, Mafia, or any of them other games, I never had an issue. I think there was an issue once with Farmtown, but they were doing an update and they knew about it and they apologized. And, hey, that's Farmtown. But I haven't played that one in super long time. Sorry about that. And sorry, I'm really thirsty for some reason all of a sudden. So never had that issue. And the computer then I had was I inherited it, but it was a $4,000 computer, so I shouldn't have had any issues with it, and I could play video games. The only issue I had is with an Xbox game. If I want to do an Xbox game, it wouldn't work because of the graphics card, because even though it was a $4,000 computer, it didn't have the right graphics card because it was used for a different purpose. You could still do it for like video watching, but it wasn't 100% gaming. So going back and forth arguing with Kixeye about that, about the loading screen, going on with the settings. I'm not gonna let them touch it. I had a laptop and it was Vista. Went on and on and on. finally they said, oh, well, Vista isn't compatible. You need to get a different system. Well, I'm not going to buy a new laptop. So what I did is I took Vista off my laptop and I added XP. Yes, it can be done. It's a pain in the butt. It took like a couple weeks to get it done. The only thing I couldn't carry over was the webcam, the built-in webcam browser that the laptop had um, feature, but the XP doesn't have a oh shoot, what are those things called? Driver. Didn't have a driver for it or any kind of program, so I couldn't get it or recreate it because in order to recreate it, it has to be approved by Dell or Microsoft or Intel or uh, what's the other one? AMP or NAD or whatever. I don't remember. I'm really bad with terms, so forgive me with that. But anyways, other than that, I was able to take Vista out and put XP in. Got the computer to work, but still had issues with Battle Pirates, and they would go on and complain. And I'm trying not to repeat myself, but this is just kicks I kept on going on and on, blaming myself. Well, I went to the library. They had like 12 computers at the time. Then later on, they bumped it to like 25 computers, newer ones. At that point, they came out with what was it, Windows 8 or 7 or whatever's after Vista. Which at that point, my $4,000 computer wasn't that great. But at that point, the computer was it was 2008. It was 5. Yeah, it was already pushing like 6 years old by the time I stopped using it, which is like 2012, 13, or whatever. Uh, so all those computers were really better. They all had the same issue, and they weren't all the same computers. They were different. They were all high end. They were for the school and whatnot. And then for a while, I also had the opportunity of working at Intel. So I got to use their computers, their internet, and even got a touch upon using their supercomputer. And again, everything worked fine except for Battle Pirates. And that's the point I'm really trying to drive home. I know everyone's got these opinions and answers and arguments, and some are good arguments. Some I don't think are too good, but the point doesn't change. Kixeye always blames the user, and that is not going to work. Um, so they do that. I eventually quit playing the game. I said, you know what, this isn't going to work. And by that point, by the time I got the fleet built, this was before tokens and any of that stuff. They were obsolete, and I couldn't, I couldn't compete with that. So then, a few years ago, I came back because I got a new laptop, and I actually went all out and got a gaming laptop. So this laptop is going to be good for the next 5, 6 years on any game I want to play that comes out in that time. And again, I've had no issues on any Facebook games or whatever, but every now and then, guess what? Yep, you're right.
Battle Pirates. Battle Pirates. Oh hi, I'm Hefty Bear '08. Yeah. Well, my computer sucks, but it always takes forever to load. But it does load eventually. It just that those few days when they were having a big issue, it wouldn't load at all, and it was just loading and 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 loading. But anyway, now it's back to just loading slowly.
And that's a really good point because, as I mentioned, I have a gaming computer, and up until recently, it was working fine. And even for the few days that other people were having issues, including Hefty Bear, the comment I started to see often, over and over, was the fact that they kept on going on about the accelerator. Don't use the program accelerator or whatever that thing is called. Forgive me, I'm like looking for something. There it goes. So let me put that over here real quick. There we go. Yeah, the game accelerator. That looks cool. The funny thing about that is, I've always throughout the years, I've always done the settings that Kixeye has said. 'Cause I'm like, I give up. I want to play the game. I'll do it. And the issue I have too is they'll say like, we'll use Firefox, we'll use Opera, or yeah, you guys weren't here for that one. Use some of the other ones, and they don't work. They never load on that one. And I have all the Adobes and all that junk, and it just doesn't want to work. When I had Vista, or I had a Windows after that one, I don't remember which one, but the virus program would not allow. Uh, it wouldn't allow Battle Pirates, and then my firewall wouldn't allow it because port 81, 72, and 102 were designated for consoles like PlayStations and Xbox. And at that time, Kixeye was trying to do something that I guess they weren't. I have no idea. So that should tell you what I know about computers. If I know about the damn ports. And again, they're blaming us. But anyways, back to the point I was trying to get is I always do the settings that they want, and they're not working, so that's on them. So about the accelerator, yeah, this gaming computer probably has that option, yeah, and it does, and they can try to change it because I can't go to a browser to change it. Like I said, it doesn't. For 2 days it didn't load on anything, but on Hefty Bear's computer, um, it's a laptop and it works fine for typing, watching YouTube videos, and a bunch of other stuff. But it's not. It doesn't have that gaming quality, and it doesn't have the RAM it needs to make Adobe Flash or things of that nature work, or the graphics card. But again, kick size. The Battle Pirate's like a 6-bit game, so the accelerator isn't on it. But they kept on saying, well, just turn it off. Well, I know for a fact it's not, because whatever settings I did on here, I would try on there just to see how good that computer is, so I know what to work with. Um, and they kept on saying that, and that wasn't the issue because like that wasn't turned on. And so I did a video which I just showed about it loading, and I just put on there loading, and people, oh man, the comments I got, horrible video, no content, waste of time, there's no sound, there's no nothing. And if you read the description, this was for Kixeye. This video was for Kixeye to see, and I was hoping they'd see it. I posted it on the forums, and whatnot. And within 2 days, they saw it, because after 2 days, there was a message. Let me find that message. Fudge. Let me find it. I know I have it because I took another picture of it. I was supposed to have this ready earlier, and I don't know what I did, so I apologize for that. Is this it? This has got to be it. Hey, what do you know? There you go. Hardware acceleration has been temporarily disabled. This is due to an error with the latest version of Chrome, which is partially right. I think the big error is with Kixeye and not just with Chrome. You guys can see it, so that's why I moved my web over. But you can see right there, and this proves my point that it's not the player, the user, or their computer, their internet, or their firewall, or anything like that, because they changed it, they disabled it. So that should tell people something. So when you make your comments, uh, try to be more open-minded and more, lack of a better word, educated in the situation, because you may be talking to someone that has been there from day one. There are people that I've talked to that are engineers and have degrees and know things. So you need to be mindful on who you're talking about, that they may know what they're talking about. And A lot of times Kickside doesn't, because believe it or not, if you look at the forums and some of the chat rooms and some of the comms, where when you type there's that auto spelling check. Well, there's a few words that are uh, spelled wrong. Like you go and you spell it wrong, and they think it's correct. Why? That's because they got young kids in the game working for them, and they don't know diddly squat about how to spell. So that should tell you something. But they put that on there. Somehow they saw. I'm pretty sure they saw it. So I had to take the video out because the issue was, for the most part, corrected. So put in that mean description. They actually did take care of it. So that should tell you something. Then now it kind of works on Firefox. Opera won't work, and that's what I forgot to mention. Someone said to use Microsoft Edge or Microsoft Explorer or Microsoft blah blah blah. And let me just stop you right there. The Microsoft browser, whatever name you want to give it, has never worked. It's never been optimal, and in fact, over the years, it just gets worse and worse and worse. The only reason why I ever use it is when I get a new computer or I'm helping somebody with their new computer, and I spend the 45 minutes or hour to download Chrome. Once I get Chrome on there, boom, I get rid of it. I disable it. I do whatever I can. And yes, you can disable it because sometimes they won't let you get rid of it. So you can disable it and turn it off and remove it from the startup sequence. So that ought to tell you a little bit about that. So now we can get rid of this picture that I explained it. And I was rude earlier. I did not introduce Hefty Bear. He's been wanting his own introduction, so